Hey YouTubers, Jen True here. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Happy Earth Day. It's one of my favorite days of the year. So today's video on Earth Day, one of the really important things, I think, a really important skill that I think to have if you're going to be an outdoors person, is to be able to identify trees. Trees are a wonderful resource. They're a resource that is available to you throughout the entire year. Wild edibles are really cool. It's really neat to be able to identify wild edibles, but they're only available to you for specific times of the year. And so, in my opinion, it's really important to know a handful of trees and to be able to identify them in the wild and what they're useful for. So some of my favorite trees and ones that I invite you to learn and to get outside and identify in the wild, because if you can identify your resources as you're exploring, then that's just going to make you a better outdoors person, and it's going to really help you to smooth it when you're out in the woods than rough it, because that's not what it's all about. So one of the trees that I think is really, really beneficial to know is the white pine. The white pine is an amazing resource, okay? And just, get a local field book and on Tree ID and, pick a couple and just, watch it. Watch it throughout the entire season and learn on how to identify it throughout the entire year, okay? So white pine has so many benefits. It's medicinal, but it's also really good for fire making and for fire starting. It has antiseptic in the sap, in the pitch. You can make an adhesive with the pitch. You can make a cough syrup with the pitch. The pine needles have more vitamin C in them than an orange. So just knowing that right there, that plant, that tree, that's amazing, right? So, learn, not amazing, just to have that skill and that knowledge set, right? When you're walking in the woods, and if you need it, you have it and you can use it. Another really cool tree is the white willow. And the white willow has many benefits to it as well. It's a wonderful tree. It's a soft wood. It's really good for carving. It's good for bow drill sets. It's right here. You can tell it has a yellow bark tinge to the bark. The bark has an aspirin effect in it, so if you have a headache, pretty much any kind of pain from above the head, it'll help. So toothache, headache, things like that. You can also use the inner bark as a food source. So you can use the the inner bark, the cambium layer, as a food source. And you can do that also with the sugar maple, with the paper birch. And the sugar maple is a hardwood maple, which is a great, good one to know, because in the spring you can tap it and you can, use that for filtered water if you needed to. It's a nice sweet, has a sweet flavor to it. You can also, real quick little sidebar here on the video, you can get water from a grapevine. So if you have a big grapevine like this, there are some that are the size of your thumb. You can see here. And then this stuff here is great fire starting material. You can make an awesome bird's nest with this. That's just a little cool sidebar on Earth Day. And so, cedar is another great one. A really great, tree to learn. And the birch, right? The white paper birch, one of my absolute favorites. The birch bark itself has volatile oils in it and is so flammable that with just a strike of a ferro rod or a flick of the Bic, it'll light. It's wonderful stuff. It's a resource that if you see it on the ground, pick it up and put it in your pocket. The worth versus the weight, put it in your pocket. It's wonderful. It's a great resource. It looks like the pitch of the white pine. It's a wonderful resource. It's just good stuff to know. Other trees that, you know, back to the birch, you can also use it to, you know, make different containers. You can make bowls with it, water container. You can also, excuse me, it's so windy here today on Earth Day. Just a little chilly, but you know what? You take what you can get, right? So Mother Nature has so much to offer, and so I guess that's like one of the premise to the video is learn those trees because they're offered to you 24/7. They're always available, and I think that's like one of the things that I like the most about learning about, you know, different trees is that it's available year-round. So I invite you to get outside and, you know, just pick a tree and learn a lot about it. Like, just learn what it can offer you, right? And what you're recreating. If you're outside and you're one that just loves to be outside, right? You work outside, you play outside, you hike, whatever it is. If you just love to be out, I invite you to learn a tree. Get out there, learn a tree, and watch it throughout the entire season. And, you know, just watch it and see what it can offer, because it's really cool to, you know, kind of be one with nature that way, and you really get to learn a lot about it. You know, the different trees, yeah, they have different things they can offer, probably more like sap production and things in the spring and leaves and things in the spring, but like the learning the identification throughout the seasons is key, because it will really help you in the winter to be able to identify that tree. Because sometimes it's hard to identify a tree in the winter, and if you watch the different species throughout the entire, you know, spring, summer into fall, by winter you've kind of keyed into the bark, you've keyed into the, you know, the way that the branches grow and just, you know, different things like that on the tree, you know, the branch itself. And so, you know, watching these different things just kind of tunes you in a little bit more to nature and what she has to offer. So again, I just invite you to get outside and, you know, just, you know, grab a few trees and learn them. I think it's the coolest thing. Drop it in the comments what you did. And if you like my video, woo, there goes the wind again. If you like my video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe to my channel and hit that little notification bell up the top so you get all my new stuff. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and get outside. Happy Earth Day, and take care.